So I recently got the Sony ZV-E10 to replace my Canon M50 with, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. I bought it because I wanted a compact camera that could take high quality 4K videos without breaking the bank. And as it turns out, I got a little more than what I bargained for. So in this video, I will be sharing with you 5 things about this camera that just makes sense. These are just 5 small things that help my workflow become more efficient. So the first one is the distance of the screw mount from the camera's battery and memory card door. So why does this matter? Okay, for context, in my Canon M50, the distance of the screw to the battery door is very small. So whenever I mount it onto a tripod or to a quick release plate or another accessory, and it's kind of hard to replace the battery when it runs out. But with the Sony ZV-E10, because of the ample distance between the battery door and the screw mount, if I have to replace my battery or my memory card, I could simply open the battery door and do my thing without unmounting the camera from the tripod or from another accessory. So I had experiences when I was using my Canon M50 with a Weebill S that I had to dismantle the entire setup just to replace my battery. So with the Sony ZV-E10, I don't have this problem. Well, with my new Xeon Crane M3, that's a little bit of a problem because you see the quick release plate of the Crane M3 is so long, so it covers a huge part of the camera's base. But that's where the second small thing that I like about the Sony ZV-E10 comes in. It seems like a very negligible thing this 2022, but it's so liberating to be able to charge my camera like how I charge my phone. Just get a power brick and a charging cable and plug it onto the wall. With my Canon M50, I had to take out the battery and put it in a separate battery charger. So in terms of my original intention for using this on travel videos and travel vlogs, I think that's a very good thing because I have one less thing to carry and worry about. This also makes it possible for me to use the camera while it's plugged in for a potentially unlimited recording time without buying any additional accessories. Well, this one is a bit tricky. So the Sony ZV-E10 doesn't have in-body stabilization, and to add to that, it has terrible rolling shutter. So if you would be using this camera handheld with an unstabilized lens like I do, you would probably be getting very unstable footage. So why am I saying no gimbals needed then? Fortunately, this camera has a gyroscope that records motion data, and Sony has a software called Catalyst Browse that can read the gyroscopic motion data and allows you to stabilize the footage in post. Well, to be fair, this camera does have electronic active image stabilization, but I kinda don't like it because it zooms in into the image, and I think that stabilization based on gyroscopic motion data is much better than the camera trying to stabilize the footage while filming. So it's actually an extra step in post-production, and your image quality can be slightly impacted, and the rendering time for exporting stabilized footage can take quite a while depending on your computer's processing power. But for what it's worth, I think it's a very handy feature. If you really wanted to take stable footage with a very minimalist setup with just your camera body and the lens, it can be done with the Sony ZV-E10. Okay, so just a quick intermission guys. If you've made it this far, I'm hoping that you're getting value out of this video, or at least enjoying it. If so, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, so back to the main video now. So it's relatively easy to manually adjust the exposure settings on this camera compared to my Canon M50. So there are actually 2 physical dials. The first one is on top of the camera for adjusting the aperture, and the second one is on the back for adjusting the shutter speed. So how about for ISO? On the right edge of the backside dial, you could press the button that says ISO and the dial will shift to controlling the ISO instead. To get back to controlling the shutter speed with this dial, just press on the ISO button again. Again, a very small thing, but it does improve my workflow. So for the longest time, I haven't actually been a fan of digital zoom because in my opinion, it's just like pinching out on a photo on your phone to zoom in on the image. But Sony's digital clear image zoom works so well. I don't know what kind of witchcraft they're trying to get away with this feature, but I'm assuming they're using some kind of sensor cropping to digitally zoom into the image. So those are 5 small things that I like about the Sony ZV-E10 in terms of helping me become more efficient in my video production workflow. So what do you think about them? Please let me know in the comments. So again, if you like this video, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.